In recovering from a car accident, I realized one thing. If your priorities are weak, your life becomes weak. Because your priorities determine your decisions determine your action, and your actions determine your results. What's up YouTube, it's Ben, and this video is about how your priorities determine your life. And the thing is, I think most people don't fully understand this. They think they need more motivation, more discipline, but the real reason is much deeper than that. They need to take a step back, their priorities are wrong, or worse, they don't know what their priorities are. And that was me before the accident, before this recovery, before rebuilding. I was moving through life without clarity, and I didn't see what was the problem with that because I was working constantly. I was always busy, I was always chasing, but internally I knew something wasn't right. I felt lost, and it took me nearly losing my life to realize something. If you don't consciously choose your priorities, the world will choose them for you. And most of the time, the world's priorities are distractions, short-term dopamine, and that path leads nowhere good. Lean into long-term gratification, health, growth, and progress. And that's what this video is about. Your priorities affect everything. Your health, your mindset, your relationships, your progress, your future, your confidence, your mental health, and your identity. And I genuinely believe this has been one of the biggest mindset shifts for me in recovery. So if you feel directionless, this video is for you. So the first point I want to make about priorities is that actions speak louder than words. People can say they want one thing, but their actions reveal something completely different. They want confidence, but they're prioritizing comfort. They want a better physique, but they're prioritizing instant gratification. Your priorities expose the truth, not your words, your actions. If your health is genuinely a priority, you train, you sleep properly, you hydrate, you fuel your body correctly. No matter what it takes. Your priorities shape your reality. And the scary part is, most people never pause long enough to evaluate them. They live reactively, escaping and numbing. And then they eventually wake up years later wondering what happened. But your life is not random. It's the accumulation of repeated priorities. Before my car accident, I was grinding relentlessly. I was working crazy hours, university placement during the day and pizza deliveries at night, trying to change my life. I was exhausted mentally and physically, and then everything changed. One single moment altered the direction of my entire life. I sustained a brain injury in a car accident in February 2022. 2 weeks of my life, I remember nothing. I don't think I was here. And when you go through something like that, I think your perspective changes permanently. Because suddenly all the things that mattered before don't matter at all now. You realize that life is fragile, but it is also incredibly valuable. And from that moment forward, my priorities changed completely. I stopped prioritizing meaningless things, and I started prioritizing health, recovery, mindset, because when your health disappears, you realize it was the foundation for everything all along. Your brain, your body, and your energy. I've learned that your health determines the quality of your existence. And why I think your priorities are so important is because they affect every decision you make, and they affect these decisions automatically. You don't need to constantly force discipline when your priorities are aligned. Aligned priorities create aligned behavior. Health is one of my biggest priorities now, so every decision is filtered through that priority. Self-growth is also a huge priority for me. Every decision I weigh up, will this grow me or shrink me? That question is so good because mindless distractions lose their appeal. Excuses become harder to justify, and negative environments become unbearable. Your priorities simplify your decisions, and weak priorities create confusion. That's why it's so important you're clear on your priorities. Because if not, you'll hesitate and you'll waste time because you'll debate, should I train today? If your priorities are weak, you'll negotiate with yourself constantly. When your priorities are clear, the decision is already made, and that's strong. Another point that has been reinforced to me in the past year is that your environment reflects your priorities. Your environment tells the truth. Look around you. Look around your room, look at your habits, your routines, your friend group. If your environment is chaotic, your mind usually is too. I used to like to tell myself that my environment didn't really play a role in my progress, but it did. Simply put, if your environment distracts you, you'll struggle to focus always. In my recovery, I've realized that I have to become intentional with what I consume. Everything from music to people, to conversations, because I've learned that your environment either reinforces your priorities or destroys them. Trying to grow in these detrimental environments is why you feel trapped. Protect your energy, protect your focus, and protect your standards, because what you repeatedly expose yourself to eventually will shape you. And one belief I stand by is this: your mental health determines your life, and physical activity is one of the best things you can do for your mental health. I think most people underestimate how connected the brain and body really are. Movement changes your state, sleep changes your state, nutrition changes your state, your lifestyle affects your psychology. After my injury, I became obsessed with understanding the brain, mindset, and health, because I realized if your brain suffers, everything suffers. And that's why health became a priority, not for aesthetics or ego, but ironically, when health becomes a priority, everything else improves too. Your physique, your discipline, and your productivity. Health is foundational. I think one of the biggest struggles with priorities nowadays is that people are prioritizing short-term dopamine, because we live in a world engineered for distraction. People are addicted to comfort, escaping instead of confronting. But comfort is dangerous when it becomes your highest priority, because growth requires discomfort. My recovery required a lot of discomfort, relearning things, rebuilding confidence, facing limitations, being patient, and starting again mentally. It wasn't glamorous, but growth never is. But the one thing I realized is that consistency beats intensity. The small repeated actions matter more than occasional motivation. One workout won't change your life, but repeated over months and years, that will rebuild a new person. And the reason why priorities are so crucial is because priorities shape identity. Eventually, your priorities stop being things you do and become just who you are. And that's where the real transformation happens. You stop trying to be disciplined. You are disciplined. And this identity bit is powerful because humans naturally act in alignment with who they think they are. If someone identifies as lazy, their behaviour will follow. I truly think my car accident has happened for a reason, because it has given me awareness of this that I don't think I would have got otherwise. Your priorities determine whether you move toward the life you want or away from it. Simply as. If you're watching this and you feel lost and don't know where to start, I get it. You don't need to figure out your entire future immediately. Start with your priorities. What can you prioritize today? I think a great thing to do to plan is to audit things, audit your life. One thing recovery has taught me is the power of showing up. Showing up matters more than perfection. There were many days that I didn't feel motivated, days I felt frustrated, and days that felt unfair. But act despite that. Keep showing up, because over time, if you repeatedly show up, that will shape your life. I feel like I've come through this recovery positively because I've committed to growth repeatedly. If you don't like your current situation, good. That means awareness is starting, and now you can change it. One decision at a time, one habit at a time, and one standard at a time. If you're watching this and you feel lost and don't know where to start, I get it. You don't need to figure out your entire future immediately. Start with your priorities. What can you prioritize today? I think a great thing to do to plan is to audit things, audit your life. What are the actions that you're taking daily? What are you prioritizing? Comfort and distraction. Try and change those actions into something that can prioritize health or growth. I think it's important because your future can depend on the answer. I don't think most people understand that their life can change dramatically when their priorities change. Not instantly, but inevitably. So if there's one thing that I want you to take from this video, it's that your priorities are shaping your future, whether you realize it or not. Every single day, your habits reveal them, your actions reveal them, your environment reveals them, and your results reveal them. If your life feels unclear, there's a strong chance your priorities are unclear too. But strong priorities create direction. Every decision is filtered through those values, and that shift changed my life. Because when you prioritize becoming better, your entire reality changes with you. So ask yourself honestly, what are you prioritizing right now? Thank you so much for watching the video. Please like and subscribe. Your priorities become your actions, and your actions become your life. Peace.